Dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, absolutely.
Tony Jaa. That's what I call your doctor, by the way.
Tony Jaa.
The Muay Thai guy. You ever see Ong Bak or
Oh my
The
God.
Protector?
I wasn't listening just now. I apologize.
Have you seen Ong Bak?
No.
The Thai Warrior?
Is it a
Protector?
Is it a
It's like a
Martial
Is it
arts movies.
Taiwanese?
Oh, so he's a real person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're made in Thailand.
Yeah.
And he's a Muay Thai guy. He's
And-
super
Okay.
cool.
He
Yeah, I mean
uses
Muay Thai
his-
is Thai.
He
so.
uses his elbows a bunch.
Yeah, that's what Muay Thai is.
But
Wait.
like it had never been seen before. So this
Oh.
movie
'Cause
came out and people were like, "Holy shit. Why is he using his elbows so much?"
It's brutal and like it's like Jackie Chan where he does all his own stunts.
Yeah.
And like
Bruce Lee and
The Protector has like the coolest oneer of all time. It's like 10 minutes and he's like going up this spiral, like stair thing, like
and just whooping ass.
destroying everybody. Like at one point he throws the guy over the ledge and like
Okay,
the
was
whole
there an
thing breaks
homage
apart.
to that in season 1 of Daredevil?
I feel it. When I saw Daredevil,
Yeah.
I got that feeling
I feel like
too.
I read that somewhere.
That hallway scene.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so brutal.
How about that scene? Oh, Kevlar vest in my butt.
I didn't think
Holy hell.
I didn't think they could do it again. And then in the second season when he's escaping that prison, they did it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God, that guy is so good.
I haven't seen all of season 3, but that scene where because he like can't hear.
Yeah.
Because of like getting his ace handed to him
Very much so.
at the end of the Defenders, and he like uses the neti pot, and like finally he can hear, and then he like goes outside and like beats the piss out of those guys, and then he comes back, and the nun is like, "You've been busy tonight, huh?" It's like, "What? No." She's like, "Stop beating the shit out of people. This is not the path of redemption."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's such a bummer that you could tell that Disney forced all of those shows to
Wrap it up. Yeah.
Because Jessica Jones wasn't bad. Like I think they had enough time and it still made sense with like the way that their show went.
Yeah.
But for fucking Iron Fist,
Iron Fist was season 1 was bad. And it just kind of they needed more time to be able to like redeem the problems they created in season 1,
Yes.
you know. But
then the family though in Iron Fist,
hateable. So hateable.
and they were such good actors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for Danny Rand to be such a dog shit actor was like,
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Luke Cage I loved.
oh yeah. See, they did the same thing though.
Yeah.
So did these all have to end because of the Disney thing?
Yeah, so because of the deal they did with Sony, so then they started Disney Plus, whatever, and then there was just like, because they're not a part of the MCU, all those Defenders characters,
Right.
so they were fair game basically for any like Sony studio to be able to do stuff on. And
Dude, and the Punisher.
dude, I mean, how incredible!
That guy was born to play that role.
Yeah, yeah.
He gets it.
What's his name again?
It's something fancy.
Because he was in Walking Dead, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Carl. Wait, no, that's not him. But
No, it's not.
but I think that fucking show. What is his name? Anyway, I think he played like amateur, like almost professional baseball.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like pretty confident on
I know
that.
he's like an actual scholar of theater.
Yeah, like he was on Broadway. I'm pretty sure, and yeah, is
Which seems so strange. I could not imagine that guy on Broadway.
yeah, right, for sure. So, Chris,
What?
how you sleeping?
I'm doing okay. Sleeping okay.
Yeah, any
It's
better
better.
than last week?
Yeah.
Good.
Having some. Yeah, I don't know. Just the shit with work is not getting better, unfortunately.
That's
and then
too
we
bad.
had the
I'm
shit
sorry.
with the neighbor that happened last week.
Yeah.
So we've had interactions with that dude before.
Yeah.
But not directly. It's always been like secondhand. Like he told my.
I was
like,
there for that.
Yeah, the
He told your
brother-in-law thing.
brother-in-law to get off his property.
Yeah.
And like stay away from the kids, and basically like sort of inadvertently called him a pedo, even though like he was literally just like shooting hoops with them because there's a basketball.
And his son was over there.
Right.
So that was weird.
Yeah.
And I just kept chalking these things up to like, there's a lot going on right now.
Right.
Right. Climate right now is very poor. And then the final thing that was like, oh, this isn't just random shit. Like Landon is over there playing basketball with those kids. He sits down for a second, and then the dad comes out and says, you need to go home. And that you can't play with these kids. And when Landon came and told me, I was like, as a parent, you have to do this thing where like, is that the whole story? There's nothing else in there. And I was like, it's okay. I'm going to go over there and talk to him. That doesn't mean you're in trouble. If you're telling the truth, then this is why we're here.
Right.
To do this shit like this.
Right.
So I go over there, go to knock on the door, and I can hear like thump, 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 him coming down the stairs, and boom, just barrels out of the door. And I stuck my hand out to shake his hand, and he just blew right past me. And I was like, hey, I'm Chris. And I like turned around and stuck my hand out again. And he was like, yeah, what's the problem? What's going on? What's the problem? I was like, oh, well, Landon had said that, and he cut me off, and he goes, yeah, he don't come around here. I was like, what? They play every day. No, he don't come around here. He don't know these kids. I don't know you. And then started yelling at me. He was like, you never we lived here a whole year. You would never come say hi to me. I was like, man, I've seen you once, twice, maybe. I'm sorry. That.
Right.
And then he was like, nah, man, fuck that. Everybody in the neighborhood come say hi to me, which is a lie.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he was like up in my face and then was like, as far as I'm concerned, you're fucking racist. And for those of you who don't know, we have a Black Lives Matter sign in our yard.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, okay, this is something else.
Yeah.
If anything that I try to add to this conversation, it's only going to make it worse. Right. So I was just like, all right, man, you got me. And as I'm walking away, he's like, yeah, fuck on. And then his 2-year-old son is following behind me and imitating his dad screaming at me, which is like, that sucks. This 2-year-old kid doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so
what was he
all
saying?
these kids, there was like 8 kids outside that had to watch their dad scream at somebody for no reason.
You were like, God, none of these kids are going to listen to my mixtape. Shit.
Yeah, so that prompted us. I mean, obviously that stress level is
for Blurp.
not so good.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Well, good news, good news for you and the world, and bad news for your neighbors. You are not a racist, So, whoops.
Which, yeah.
Whoops, eh?
When I told my brother and my dad, they were like, you?
Right. And you were like, I know, I only have like 4 swastika tattoos. I just call them helipads if people ask.
Yeah.
That's too bad, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean.
It's one thing if it comes at me. Like, that was the weird thing was I was like, my brain was like our family historically gets like shaky and like when we think we're in a confrontational thing. Yeah. And that wasn't happening. I was just going like, what? Who?
Yeah, that's pretty telling.
Who hurt you, man? Like
that's pretty telling. Because when fight or flight is it's instinctual. It's not planned course of action. So like
right
when your fight or flight doesn't kick in, now it could be you're on a combination of medications that are keeping you a little bit more mellow.
Maybe.
But I would think that that wouldn't play as much of a role in a confrontation like that. I mean,
yeah,
you obviously didn't feel legitimately threatened, and so you had the capacity, the wherewithal to be able to be like, this isn't about me, which is I don't know, speaks a lot to your character. A lot of people don't have the ability to separate themselves like that from the moment, and so good on you. It's a bummer it worked out that way, but
it was tough for Kim because she, mama bear. So that was the biggest bummer was going to the kids and being like, hey, I'm sorry, but until we get this stuff figured out with their dad, we can't you guys can't go over there.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if letting those kids come
They
over
just like play in
here-
the street now still, or
I don't know, because I mean, I did notice a couple of times when the kids were like trying to like kind of go the longer way around to, and maybe that was just, maybe I'm just speculating, but normally I see them
you
a
seem
lot
more worked up. You seem more like you're wrapped up and thought about it now than you did in the moment.
Yeah, because
and which obviously because it has future ramifications.
Right.
So you're like trying to avoid all confrontation that could. And you want to protect your kids.
Exactly.
I mean, if one of them gets caught up in something, I mean, your kids wouldn't hurt a fly. So I can't imagine that. And it speaks so much to like nature versus nurture in this aspect. It's like nurture obviously plays a role in the way the two of your relationship is playing out right now.
Myself and the other dad, you said?
Correct. But like nature shows in the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they don't know any different.
Right.
So they're just human beings. There is no color,
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird, man.
That is weird. It's unfortunate, but this is I would imagine that in the whole scheme of things and in the long run, this is going to be valuable for the kids just as a lesson of like, this show, like just because somebody shows animosity to you doesn't mean they're a bad person and doesn't mean they mean you legitimate ill will. It just could be like a number of factors.
Yeah.
And,
The way that he looked at me reminded me of like when I had confrontations with people when I was on the adult mental health unit.
Yeah.
And it's hard to describe, but there's a certain look in somebody's eyes where they're someplace else.
Yeah.
And so I wondered if like he has PTSD. Who knows what happened to him beforehand that would. Well, actually, one more thing.
Yeah.
I thought of an analogy like with people who are afraid of dogs. They can't help but be jumpy when there's a dog around.
Yeah.
If he had something negative happen with white people, this dude is surrounded by dogs then.
Yeah.
And so he was moved from Brooklyn Park to here, and then now is surrounded by, if that's what his trigger is, by nothing but triggers.
Not sweet, right.
Yeah, which is terrifying.
Yeah, for sure. Or just, I mean, it's again, it's a fight or flight thing.
Yeah.
In his case.
For sure. But yeah, the positive thing was that, I mean, all homeowners do that thing where they're like, well, I guess we got to move then. Not necessarily that we're going to move, but we looked at like what our house is worth.
Yeah.
And so it actually like opened our eyes to we're in a better position than we thought if we did want to move or if we wanted to refinance and things like that. So it was like, oh man, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's it's the yin and the yang of life.
Jace, how's your sleep been?
Betterish. Not great, not bad.
Yeah.
Work has been really good, so I've been less stressed about that. And Caitlin and I have been really starting to move quickly on some of this wedding stuff. So there's a little less stress there. Yeah.
I saw you guys had some engagement photos done.
We did. Her mother did a very good job. We also, I think, picked out a venue.
Really?
Yeah. It's very cool.
That's
it's going to
awesome.
be very awesome. I'm very, very excited. So yeah, there's just, some of that stuff off my plate is making me a little less stressed. I think I managed to talk about this every episode, but I've been playing hella Pokemon lately, and it's not slowing down. I am well on my way to being the very best, like no one ever was.
I still play Pokemon Go when I'm in bed.
Yeah.
And I've moved from the almond butter biscuits to these protein bars.
Oh, which feels better but isn't. Go ahead.
It's less sugar though.
Yeah.
Which is a positive.
For sure.
But I woke up this morning and I was like, kind of didn't remember eating it.
That's good.
And then I I went to get up, and my back felt weird.
No way.
I had rolled over onto
You're
it, and it had
me.
like melted to my back.
It's like the $100,000 or Baby Ruth bar that's in the pool in Caddyshack. Duty. Oh, that's so funny. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. I mean, I've told you about this. You know, this kind of goes hand in hand with like when you watch the Comics Explained stuff, and I get such a kick out of the turnstile strategy in those games, in the Pokemon games. You know.
What do you mean?
Well, just like there's, you know, the type matchups and the way.
Is that like how Final Fantasy?
Yes and no.
Because Final Fantasy in the early days was like.
He's just saying it's turn based. Like
yeah. It is turn based. Yeah.
Thanks, Mara.
Sorry,
Mara. Thanks for being here again.
Yeah.
You look wonderful.
It's fun. Thank you.
I love the snake on your arm.
It's actually a hair tie.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I think that's a snake.
It's a snake.
It's a snake. It's a snake.
Turn your levels up a little bit.
Yeah.
Am I low here?
Little bit.
But
Yeah,
so like, you know, being able to like to have like full knowledge of like the library of the different types and like how they affect each other, and so like and how like certain types and certain Pokemon have like different stats that make them more effective against very specific, you know what I mean? Like all of that is super interesting to me. So like I just consume so much Pokemon.
That's all I do is battle now. Like I've caught as much as I'm gonna catch, I think, based because I don't like walk around and go to stops anymore.
Right.
So now I'm just battling motherfuckers.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I better make sure that I have a wide range because I only get 3 players. So you know, I have my what's it called? The red thing, like centipede looking guy.
Oh, Centiskorch?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I'm almost positive that's what it is.
Let me pull up my battle arsenal. So I fucking ripped it. The Scolipede.
Oh.
And then I use my Metagross and my Landorus.
Okay.
Those are my 3 champs.
Yeah. So you're using a Bug Fire, a Steel Psychic.
Yep.
And a Ground Dragon? No.
I don't think it's Dragon, but he is Ground and something else.
Ground Flying?
At least you have a team. My team is a meme team. They're all furrets. It's a business of furrets.
That's funny as hell. So like I try to orient my team throughout the game. So like I when I was a kid, it was like I caught everything, literally everything. I was just like, oh, there it is.
Ooh, I'm hatching an egg right now.
What is it? Ooh.
What is it? A Dino.
That's
an
It's
Dino.
cute from here.
I bet another one's gonna hatch right after it.
that was literally all to say sleeping pretty average.
Sleeping. You know what? Somebody in treatment would say every morning. Be like, "Morning, Vic. How you doing?" You go, "Extremely adequate." It's like, wow.
That is an oxymoron. You can't be extremely medium. That's
Extremely adequate.
it's
Thank
like
you very
extra
much.
medium t-shirts, you know what I mean?
Extra medium t-shirts, yeah.
You're like, what?
No, that's a small.
Yeah. Well, no, extra medium is just medium. It's
Or
just,
is it extra on the long end or the small end?
Well, no, it's just extra medium. You're how you're managing to overthink this so much is beyond me.
Coming from
I know, that's what I'm saying.
If you're a Pokemon, your type would be Overthinker and Stinker because you shit yourself all the time.
My name would be Overstinker, and it would just be, it would be a like, sort of human-like character sitting on a rock like this, and then he would have his hand out like this, and there would be a white piece of paper floating in it. Because he's just overthinking while he's making a stinking. Overstinker.
Overstinker.
God, congratulations. Your Overstinker evolved into diarrhea. Sorry. That's not as funny as I thought it was going to be. And oops.
Overstinker evolves into midlife crisis.
No, I think I like this because you overthought the evolution to overstinker.
It's a solid point.
That's funny. So, we're kind of entering. We don't really talk about this so much, like actual politics, but we're kind of entering into the ye old home stretch here,
We are very close.
right? And I
Fall
think
is like less than 3 weeks away.
I know there are a lot of people that are confident that the Donald will be El Prez for another 4, which he's done some not sweet things.
Yeah.
Murdered surprisingly less people than when he was elected, and everyone was like, "Well, we're all dead." 0 kills.
Well, it depends on how you look at it because of the way that the pandemic was handled.
Okay, good point. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
But he didn't actively kill people in the numbers that previous presidents
I think
have.
the drone strike operation is still going, though.
Yeah,
So
but
every president that comes in is grandfathered into these fucking drone strikes. So
I know.
every president is killing thousands of people.
Okay, what I'm saying is he didn't start any wars.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He didn't actively say, like, kills the Jews.
Sure.
It's the yin and the yang, as I said earlier. There's some good, some bad,
Yang's out.
which is such a bummer. He better get a cabinet seat. I mean,
That guy's a dork. Come on.
I love him.
Every single question you ask him ends with freedom dividend.
I know, but he's not a one issue person, but that's what he's known by, and that is the pillar of his platform, which makes sense because that one thing solves so many other issues that if you implement something that gives people more free will and you empower them to take advantage of that free will, like you're automatically making the entire country better off. All that to say, what I was going to ask is, what do you think of the VP pick for Biden? Thoughts?
She's not a thought. It's sexist, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of rude.
Sorry. Okay, what are your thoughts?
It's interesting because
She called him a pedophile.
yeah.
So he painted himself into a corner by saying
He was going to ask a woman, and then he said he's going to ask a woman of color.
exactly.
And it was like,
They kind of guess who'd right out of the gate.
Yeah.
you know who he should have picked that is also a woman of color?
Mm-hmm.
You already know who I'm going to say, I think.
Does it start with an A?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Who are you going? Oh, Michelle.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. There's speculation that she's going to run on her own thing.
Please,
She wants
God,
this shit to
no.
die out, and then she's going to do her own thing.
Are you
No.
anti-Michelle
No?
Obama?
I just
Is this because she fucked school lunches so hard?
like we don't need dynasties.
Ah.
I'll give you that.
Because you get closer to an oligarchy.
Well, we're
We're
in,
there.
Yeah, we're in an oligarchy.
Yeah,
for
we're
sure.
there.
Yeah, that's already happened.
Oh, I
The
suppose.
aristocracy has risen.
What am I looking for? What's the, like the queen? What are those?
Monarchy.
Yeah,
monarchy. That's what I was looking for.
I mean, yes and no. This is more just nepotism, you know?
Oh.
But like if I
Lil,
had
Lil Nepotiz?
correct, Lil Nepotiz. I'm not saying I love her and what she stands for to the degree that I would want her to be the president or vice president. I just think his winning pick would have been Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be really depressing? The first female president is gonna be a result of the old white guy dying in office.
Yeah, that's
It's
tough
very
to hear.
possible.
It is tough to hear. But
But that's the setup. Is they're setting
They
her
want-
up
yeah,
so that because he's not going to go for a second term.
God, no. He's
So-
not going to make it through a first term. If he gets elected, that dude is keeling over week one.
They are. I know.
That's what they
That
want
they
to
are
happen.
holding onto something because they wait until you're closer to the election. I would say maybe after the first debate or just before the first debate.
Are you October surprise? Is that what you're?
Yeah. I think they're going to hold on to something where we find out some nightmarish shit about Biden. And even though Trump has done a bunch of bad shit, whoever goes against him has to be so perfect because people have already accepted how insane Trump is. So they're like, yeah, you can't say anything that will surprise us anymore. This is the guy. We chose him.
Yeah.
But for Biden, they're like, oh, you think you're so perfect? It's the same way that...
Oh, you're thinking the people on the right are going to drop some Biden truths.
Yes.
Okay, so to that end, I kind of feel like the people on the right, so the people on the left, and I would say on the furthest side ends of each spectrum, most people fall pretty middle of the road on a lot of things.
Sure.
All that to say,
Registered Republicans.
cancel culture exists more on
Mara?
the left side.
That's me.
Oh, that'd be okay. So on the left side.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So like, if the right drops some truth bomb about, whatever, it's automatically going to come with such a hefty spoonful of skepticism that like, I'm not sure anything's going to stick to the point that people. I mean, Biden's got.
I got what
you know what I'm saying? It's like Biden's already had crazy accusations of other things, and he's still got the nomination. So like,
that's true.
I don't know. I can't imagine that the right is going to have any luck, which is a really scary premise.
Yeah.
The idea that somebody can be so incredibly openly flawed and so oblivious to how their flaws are negatively affecting other people and still be what our two-party system designates as the very best option representing that party. That is astonishing to me.
Well, I think the concept is really that the two-party system is the system that gets the most done because we've grown to accustomed to it so much.
Or it's not, or it's the opposite.
But I mean, I'm saying, like, if you say you're a Democrat and you go that Democratic route, then you, as the Democrats, are getting what you feel you want done in that regard. So I think the Republican Party does the same thing.
Yeah.
So in the sense that you go with, it's more about the party, not the person who's going to be the representative for that party.
But wouldn't 20 parties do a better job of creating? Because that's when true and legitimate compromise takes place.
Of course.
The more parties that have a vested interest in the actions
success
being taken. So like, the more perspectives, I should say, instead of parties, the more perspectives that are present at the table trying to make a deal, the more likely the deal is to benefit all, as opposed to just whatever side has more people at the table.
Did I ever tell you what mine and my dad's idea was? So you make the president
make people build trains so they can ride in their boxcar.
Are we back to the monorail guy?
No, go ahead. We've talked about this.
You know what I'm about to say?
Yeah, the like most qualified person from.
No, it would be like jury duty. So you meet certain standards, pretty basic, and then for 2 years, you are now the president. So if that means members of Congress or whatever, the Senate, are all put into a lottery, and it's just now it's your turn. So if you did it that way, you take out the necessity for that divide, and so it feels less because it feels fair to have the lottery aspect.
You'd have to tighten up a lot of the checks and balances. See, and this is,
but that's the same thing with voting right now. So
I know,
if
what
you
I'm
can do
saying-
it with voting, then I believe you could do it with.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess what I'm saying is if you don't tighten up the checks and balances, then the only thing that will happen is government will only get bigger.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because like they're only
Because that seems more appealing because everyone has the chance to become president.
they're all going to be trying to pass shit all the time.
Right.
And passing laws doesn't make the government smaller.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm open to anyone doing it big, whoever they want to be.
Are you boring yourself?
No, I'm super tired, dude. I had to get up so early today. For me, so early. It's for you. It's like when you wake up every day.
Yeah.
But I had to get up super early today to go to my parents and pick
Well,
up
you got to tell us what super early is.
6:30.
Oh, okay. That's early for me.
Yeah, and
I get up at like 7:15. So.
Oh, and I didn't fall asleep until like 2. So,
Yeah.
well, I didn't fall asleep. I didn't go to bed until 2. I didn't like put my head to the pillow and like really actively try to fall asleep until about 2 because I was like tossing and turning in bed. And the problem is if I consume any caffeine right now, then the same shit's gonna happen tomorrow. So I'm trying to like power through it. We were on the way here. We were listening to like System and Chevelle and all
God, I
kinds
love
of-
Chevelle.
They do have some rippers.
You want to know what my hype up music was on the way here?
Metallica.
No, you got to guess?
Britney Spears.
No. That's a good guess. No, it was the score by Hans Zimmer to the 1990 film Days of Thunder.
Wow, I love Hans Zimmer. He's got some absolute heat.
Did you hear the
John Williams is my favorite composer. Though.
Did you
Go ahead.
see that Netflix hired him to redo their logo?
Hans Zimmer?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh.
What?
But yeah, like early 90s Hans Zimmer, that's like my favorite. Like Lion King,
Yeah.
Days of Thunder,
Yep.
and then Cool Runnings.
Oh yeah.
Like it's that stuff is like to me is like the 90s. Like
Yeah,
that's what it
for
sounds
sure,
like.
for
Like,
sure.
The way it hit,
For
like,
sure.
the percussion, and then like these
Did he
guitar
do
solos.
what else did Hans?
He
do?
did Inception. He did
Yep.
the Christopher Nolan Batman movie.
He did all the Christopher Nolan stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Inception soundtrack is,
I mean,
top
the
notch.
Batman soundtrack.
of course.
Yeah. So hard right now.
That's sick.
So
I
good.
could cut diamonds with my nipples.
Man, I don't know how I ended up on like sometimes I'll just go on like a classical deep dive
Oh,
like,
yeah.
into
Yeah.
YouTube and like I love classical covers of modern songs. Like-
Oh yeah. I know what you're
You know
saying.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Like
So,
where,
like,
where there's like a violin quartet. You know.
Like four cellos plays Metallica.
Yeah,
That's good
for
stuff.
sure. I really like Gershwin. Gershwin was, like Rhapsody in Blue. One of the best albums on Spotify is Gershwin playing Gershwin.
It's X-Men.
Okay, pause. That in itself may be the nerdiest thing that's ever happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're like, guys, okay, so I was thinking, so Netflix, got Hans Zimmer on, so I was thinking maybe we would jump in and sort of do our own, reimagining of something. So we've had this, this string quartet that we've been doing forever in my dad's garage, and we haven't really done anything of our own. So I figured maybe we could remake the X-Men theme song. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think the idea of somebody who's super fucking talented doing something that in their world is so simple
Yeah,
is incredible. Like when
Yeah,
you see
for sure.
like pro athletes playing Xbox, you're like, what? Why would you do? You're an actual athlete. What are you
Right.
doing?
Yeah,
And so there's something like fascinating about that.
yeah,
And especially when it comes to like the classical world, finding out because you thought that they just listened to fucking Bach and I don't know other classical shit
for sure.
And then to learn that like they love Radiohead and all these
like
hard
their
things.
application of their mastery to something that's not normally in that realm. Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
I'm on
I
board
love
with
that so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I really like watching like when professional race car drivers drive like street cars on closed tracks. So you like see people who are used to driving at like 200 plus mile an hour speeds, like using a BMW M3 and just like whipping turns, and you're like, this is like real life Need for Speed. This is so cool.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
I love that
I love
shit.
that shit.
Also watching people who are like untalented. You know what I'm saying?
To create an echo and it worked.
It worked really well. But like people who are really good at something be dog shit at the other thing. Like anytime an athlete plays golf, it's like
or vice versa. Yeah. Yep.
Like watching God, when those what were they called? Ninja boards? Like you step on
when Mike Tyson like eats just a hefty diaper load of shit.
The guy can murder people with his fists.
That Vine where they do the Mario theme song when he falls. Well, it's like, I mean, they're the king of something, so like to watch them not be the king of something else, you're like, bud. So to that end, right? So Tiger Woods, whether you like him as a human being or not, is the greatest golfer who's ever lived, and I will die on that fucking hill.
Sure.
I watched today. There's the United States Golf Association has a YouTube channel, and they've put together these like sort of compilation, including interview like short movies.
Okay.
That are like recaps of classic U.S. Open and U.S. Amateur Championship events.
Okay.
So like one of them is like that Tiger won back-to-back-to-back amateur championships. It's like when he was 15, 16, and 17 years old, he was the best amateur in the world, And like people were, so everyone knew who Tiger Woods was going to be before he was ever a pro. He was like the most highly anticipated. He was like LeBron of golf. You know what I mean? Like people were watching Tiger when he was in high school and they were like, who the fuck is this guy? So he, in 2000, won his first U.S. Open. And that U.S. Open was at Pebble Beach, which is in, I believe, Northern California. I believe it's Northern California. But it's notorious for being an extremely difficult course. And the U.S. Open is notoriously the most difficult tournament of the year because they let the course, they literally purposely cut the greens extremely short and then roll them. So like with a steamroller kind of style thing to press them so they're super hard. So the ball, when it comes flying down, it doesn't stick. It bounces hard and it rolls out instead of the spin on the ball, stopping the ball and rolling it back. So it's much more difficult to do that. They also like let the greens dry out a bunch, so they're super fast. Fast meaning like the ball, like it takes like a little touch for the ball.
Oh,
just like,
okay.
Zoom. They narrow the fairways, and in doing so, they like cut the fairways thinner and thinner, and then they let the rough grow like literal wild. Like it's where on a regular course, rough is like this tall.
Okay.
At the U.S. Open, the rough on the same course would be like this tall.
It's just got like cars up on blocks.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, like there are times when your lie is so bad that you literally like can't see your ball. Like
I have lied my balls off before. Is that what you're?
No.
So
anyway, Tiger in this tournament, also Pebble Beach is notorious for having like in the exact same day you could have like 4 different kinds of weather. Like it could be like sunny and like no wind, and then the mist rolls in, and then you can't see and it's overcast, and then the wind starts back up again, and it's like 45 mile an hour winds or whatever, and you're like right on the coast, so the wind is just swirling, and then 45 minutes after that it's raining. And you're like, okay, it was literally 2 hours ago. It was sunny and 75. What the fuck is going on?
Plus,
anyway.
he's a person of color, so it's hard to get on the course.
Okay, right. So anyway, Tiger in this particular U.S. Open, this is just like to speak to when we were talking about when people are like the king of something.
How long ago was this?
20 years
2000,
ago.
this happened.
2000, you
Yeah.
Pay
said?
attention.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you.
Because I'm trying to think. Golf clubs are notorious for being racist.
Okay, yes,
I was-
they
I
are.
was- I was-
Yes, they are. Just let me fucking...
All right. I'm sorry. Sorry.
So Tiger Woods finished this tournament at 12 under par, okay, over the course of 4 rounds. Not a miraculous score by any means. The next closest player finished after 4 rounds at 3 over par.
So is this when they had to like change golf because he was too good at it?
This was that was prior to that happening.
Grab that biatch and cock it towards you a little more.
This one.
Yeah. So he
There you
literally,
go.
not only did he beat the next closest person by 15,
Oh, okay.
he was the only player to be under par after all 4 rounds. So there's this 45-minute video that like covers this weekend and like how truly dominant he was. And it just like made me, when we were talking about like people being great, it just made me think of that. Like there was a time when like there was no David. There was only Goliath, and it was Tiger. Like it got to the point where he was so famous and so great that he became infamous.
Yeah.
He by 2008, so between 1997, I think 98 maybe, and 2008, so 10 years, he won 64 times.
That's pretty insane. I hope they recognize it as a sport one day because
You're such a fuck.
Like even I knew about Tiger. Like
Right.
I didn't like sports at all. I was one of those like, oh, sports ball. I'm
Yeah.
like one of those people. But I knew about Tiger. I knew about
Every-
tiger proofing.
Right.
I heard about
That's
that,
literally
yeah.
what they had to do. They had to
tiger
cut.
proofing.
They literally had to put the tee boxes further back on courses for PGA tournaments because Tiger hit the ball so much further than everyone else that they literally had to make it so Tiger couldn't just shoot like 8 under every round.
So, but it doesn't that make it harder for everyone though?
Yeah. But it takes his
Oh,
greatest strength, his ability to hit the ball farther than everyone else, which really isn't his greatest strength. His greatest strength is putting, but that's another conversation for another day. But
sure.
there's multiple videos of him just straight up driving the green on par 4s.
This is like a YouTube video, like rabbit hole that I would love to go down because I don't watch sports or anything,
Right,
but I
but
will
like-
end up going down these rabbit holes. Like,
Yeah.
there's this baseball player named like something Cologne.
Bartolo Colon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's been around he was around forever.
Yeah.
And like as he got older, he got like heavier and stuff.
Yep.
But he was still doing all this like really athletic
Yeah, he was
stuff.
like dominant. He played for the Twins. He's had I guess in the modern era, probably of all pitchers, he hit the most home runs. That guy just ripped dingers, but like pitchers never hit. So they only play every 4 games, and in the American League, there's a designated hitter that hits for the pitcher. So unless you're in the National League or an American League team playing an interleague game against a National League team, and you're in the National League team's park, and you're starting that day, you don't get to bat. So this guy would get up and just absolutely pound the ball. So did Carlos Zambrano. He used to play for the Cubs.
Carlos Zambrano.
And now Shohei Ohtani, who's a Japanese kid, just a ball player. He hits a lot of home runs. Well, he did for a while. I think he's hurt right now, but he's also a pitcher. Anyway, yeah. These are the rabbit holes I go down.
Yeah. And then eventually you just end up in spiders.
Like the animal,
Like
or-
actual spiders.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
And they're
no, I
real
don't do
creepy
that.
and
I
weird.
don't do that. But okay, yeah, we'll give you that. Yeah, sure. That's your rabbit hole.
You never seen like the little spider that like buries itself with sand?
Yeah, horrifying, isn't it? It's from like Australia or something, or it's in the Amazon.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
And it literally jumps out of the dirt to catch birds.
Oh yeah, yep. I know what you're talking.
Oh,
about.
Whoops! You're a spider. What are you doing? That's a different ecosystem. They can fly. Well, it's like when you see a praying mantis kill a wasp, and you're like,
That's like when
I
you,
mean,
in
hello.
in school when you would see two people that you don't like fight.
yeah, and you're
Like,
like,
I don't care
all right.
who dies, but
yeah,
as long as somebody
Yeah.
gets fucked up.
yeah.
Or have you ever seen those little bees that kill Japanese hornets?
Yeah, with the
They just
heat.
they just cover them and then vibrate, and it like boils them to death.
Is that
nature.
insane?
That's super
So we all
insane.
thought that those murder wasps were gonna come and fuck
yeah,
things up.
and the bees were like, nah.
Bees
nah.
are homies.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you like your life? Medium or well done?
That's funny as hell. All right, should we do some brought to you buys?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm excited. We finally had some people write in.
this might be a guest submission, this one. I don't know. Actually, this is on... Oh, my God.
I think that one's mine.
Don't spoil it.
This is really funny.
This episode of Dude Absolutely is brought to you by Drinkable Enema Coffee. Strong enough for your butthole, but made for your throat hole.
Is that yours?
That was mine.
Excellent. Oh, wow. Well
Made
done.
for your throat hole.
But made for your throat hole.
Comes in decaf.
Yeah.
The funny
Please-
thing is,
Please drink responsibly.
I watch a YouTuber, and he actually drank. He had some coffee that he had for enemas that he used, but he drank it.
Oh, my
He
God.
said it was really gross, but
Yeah, I can't
that
imagine
a
it was good.
surprise?
It's
It's like Austin Powers.
this tastes like somebody took a Perique blend cigarette and dunked
surprised
it
it
in
was even
Folgers.
coffee.
This episode of Dude Absolutely is brought to you by Allen's Anal Gland Spa. Releasing your glands with our hands. Book by appointment only.
Whose is that? Is that yours?
No, that was Kim wrote that one.
That was an email.
Really? What a submish.
Yeah.
Well done, Kimothy. That's really funny. Yeah, this is so dumb.
This episode of Dude Absolutely is brought to you by Purple Turkeys on Rye with Kettle Chips.
So stupid.
I know. That one was just so fun to write that I just stuck with it.
And you sounded like a waiter that was like disappointed.
Right.
Who got the purple turkey with kettle chips?
Today's special is our French onion sandwich. And, sir, is that a purple turkey on rye with kettle chips?
Oh, God damn it.
This episode of Dude Absolutely is brought to you by Bill Engvall, Lawrence Fishburne, and Jose Canseco's new taco restaurant. Pictures in the rye.
Oh, well done, sir.
I
Nice.
had to think about that one.
That was good.
It's getting tougher to riff after him.
Yeah, well, because some of the names are so long now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And, you know, like Mara and Kim both added, like...
The tag, right?
Yeah, right. Which, ideally, that's what happens.
Right.
Then we don't have to fucking freeball it, you know? This is pretty good.
This episode of Dude Absolutely is brought to you by Left-Handed Fleshlights. We come too.
Is that you? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's pretty good, man.
I because the left-handers day was last week, or
yeah, that was
Right?
last Thursday.
for you gross people.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Somebody told me, like, not that... I mean, it had to be, like, 10 years ago, but somebody told me, like, yeah, every one of the last 5 presidents was left-handed. And I was like...
What?
I used to, like, tell people that. And then I looked it up, and it was like, none of them were left-handed.
This episode of Dude Absolutely is brought to you by that time in elementary school when your teacher said good morning and you said, hi, Mum.
I fucking did that all the time.
Yeah. Same. That's why I wrote it.
I would do like, I would do the thing where you're like, Mom, Miss so and so, can
yeah, yeah, it's the worst. You know who Brent Morin is?
Sounds familiar.
He's got a special on Netflix that's literally called
Yep.
I'm Brent Morin. Have you watched that?
I don't think I have.
You should.
I've seen a half.
He's
hour
also
of
on
his,
the
though.
he's on the stand-ups with
Yep.
the same season that like Kyle Kinane and Joe List are on.
Yeah, he has the great because he was on Undateable.
Yes.
He wrote that with whoever the fuck. Their
Yeah.
podcast is. Have you seen it?
No.
It's called The Lion's Den.
Is it good or shitty? Like boring?
Yeah, it's just it feels like they're like we know comics. They'll come to our podcast, and they kind of
Oh.
don't seem into it.
Oh,
So it's very strange.
that's tough.
It's them reminding people that they're cool too. Hey, we're cool too, guys.
Oh.
But his
that's hard
story
to hear.
about Ed is it Sheeran or Sheeran?
Sheeran.
Sheeran. He has a absolutely hilarious story about Ed Sheeran because Ed Sheeran was a guest on the show,
Oh.
and they did one live and they did one like normal style.
Yeah.
And apparently Ed was drinking during the live one, and when they ended the not live recording, he grabbed Brent by his face and kissed him, and then he gave Brent his number, and he was like, if I'm in town, feel free to shoot me a text or whatever. And he plays some huge venue in California, and Brent's like, I don't know if it's possible. Do you think maybe I could get a ticket? And he got him tickets and his friends tickets. And then the show's over. It's an incredible show. Brent's like, I can't believe I got to bring my friends and, yada, yada. Show's over. It's a couple hours later. Ed Sheeran texts him. He's like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah.
And Ed ends up meeting up with him instead of the plethora of famous people that he could have met up with.
Right.
It's a great story.
That's awesome.
That's like snippets. It's not even all of the actual cool
That's
shit.
awesome. Yeah,
He
got
tells
this...
that story on Tiger Belly if you want to hear it.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Yeah, he's got this bit on.
Did we read all
in
the
his
things?
hour. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
it. He's got this bit in his hour or in his special, I should say, where he's like talking about Brad Pitt and like how majestic he is and like how long his hair is and like how is it possible that you could be a dad and also have like hair like that? And it just makes me laugh like thinking about you, but like the way he like describes it is like he like acts a lot of his stuff out because he's an actor first, I would guess. I mean, he's an improv comedian actor, But so he like does this like where he's like, hey, you cut that shit out. You get over here. I'm going to smack. I said, stop that. It's so funny. It's really good.
So Kim was trying to. So we were talking about refinancing, possibly moving, all of these things.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, if we refinance, can I get fillers in my lips? And she was trying to like move her lips to show me what it would look like. And I was like, it's going to look weird, whatever you're trying to do with your fingers. I was like, I literally can't imagine you with different lips. It's an odd thing. So
well, she doesn't need that.
she was like, there's a filter on Snapchat that'll show you what it looks like. And she couldn't find it, but it prompted me. The only reason that I ever use Snapchat is not to actually use Snapchat. It's just the filter thing.
Yeah.
There's a filter that makes you look like me. I didn't make it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking me.
Yeah. That's wild.
I have that hat. The hair color is the same.
It's so funny.
The only difference is the fucking gray beard. I'll post it
You'll
up
get
on
there.
Oh yeah.
That's brilliant.
What are we doing?
I don't know, dude.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
So you're planning your wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
the venue, is it near, far?
No, it's in Sauk Rapids. It's going to be a hot joint, if you will. It's going to be very cool. Very excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kim and I spent $600 on our wedding. Total.
Huh.
600.
Were you on like a TLC show, like a Penny Pincher show?
Nope. We just decided to
impressive.
pinch the pennies anyways. The guy that we...
Didn't you have a child at the time?
No. We were childs at the time, but
Oh yeah.
I
thought
I was working at Walmart, actually.
Yeah, baby Duke. Yep.
But we
Congrats.
we went to this VFW in the middle of nowhere. This town called Glendorado.
Yeah, you told me about that. And
And
they had it was like a beautiful building actually.
it is. Yeah, it's this beautiful stone building. But we go in there and this guy shows us the venue. And I'm like, this is actually perfect. You know, it's kind of like halfway in between a lot of family that are coming. So how much for the venue? And he goes, oh, I don't know, $100? As though he was reaching for the stars.
Yeah.
It's like Dr.
Like he was
Evil.
he was trying to screw you.
And I happened to have $100 bill in my pocket at that time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's perfect. Can we just pay for that right now? He was like, yeah. I gave him the $100 bill, and it was like he'd never seen one before. So
They're really blue, guys. Check it out.
so he
Just runs away.
he's like, the key to this place is at my house. Would you guys mind following me? It's not far away, and I'll get you the house key. So we go and drive up his driveway, and there's cats everywhere, all over the place. Like to the, we didn't get out. He comes.
I can't imagine you
He
would.
couldn't.
He comes up to the car. I roll down my window, and he hands me the key, and he goes, "You guys want some cats?" I was like,
We got plenty of pussy in the car. Thanks. See ya.
but man, that was hilarious.
That's awesome.
You guys want some cats?
That's really funny.
Not
So-
are you looking for a
Yeah,
cat?
or would you like to
How
adopt a
many?
cat? Would you want some cats? That is too much. That is too plural for the item you're offering. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
We have that key in our house somewhere.
What?
Yeah, because we never gave it back to him. I didn't want to go back there.
Yeah, I can't imagine you would have. Plus, that guy's set for fucking life. All he has to do is.
$100.
It's like that would be like if the salesman or representative from said place was Patrick Starr. That's how you would have handled that.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, what's wrong?
What's wrong with you, Patrick?
I can't see my forehead.
Oh, Patrick Star.
All right, should we do some proms?
You ready to do some proms?
Yeah, I got a prom.
All right, what you got?
I like to fill out crossword puzzles. I like the challenge, the unforgiving nature of the game board. If you fuck up a crossword in pen, you're screwed. The more you mess up, the more it looks like you missed the color inside the line lesson in kindergarten. I'm a little weird about my crosswords sometimes, though. Sometimes, just to mess with people, I'll grab a public newspaper and fill it out, and then leave the paper for the next person, just hoping they'll read the nonsense I've left for them. Sometimes it'll be just like awkward hate speech, like something loathsome, 4 letters, and I'm like, Jews. Not because I believe it, but because of how awkward that is to read. For the person who walks into the Starbucks and sits down at the table and they see the crossword puzzle and they read Jews first, and then they follow with their finger to something loathsome, and then they have to get up out of that spot and either recycle the newspaper or leave the Starbucks. Because if anyone in that Starbucks saw them with the newspaper pointing at it, they're like, that guy's an anti-Semite.
That is true. They have to or what if they're so scared and there's so many people
Right.
that they stuff it in their
They
pocket.
and then,
Their wife finds it when they go home.
right,
I knew you didn't like my mother.
right.
There's another option. There's the person that continues with the puzzle
Yeah.
because they're like, "Up, nailed it." Okay, next one down.
Yeah, so, and then the end of it is, other times I'll just write like a message, like a plea of some sort, or like a hot tip about a sale at JCPenney's, just because I'd love to be the fly on the wall when the guy who walks in the store, like at JCPenney, and he's like, yeah, you guys have, did you guys have the ad in the crossword puzzle today? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Buy one, get one, Lee jeans. Lee jeans. Those are only sold at Fleet Farm. Anyway, so that's my bit.
I like it.
Thank you.
There's a lot you can do with
Yeah,
that. That's really
I
good.
don't have a lot of bits like this, so this will be a fun challenge, I think.
Yeah.
Because like most of my stuff is like story related or like very real experience that I had, and here's how it made me think.
There's so
this is not real at all.
so many tags. You could tag. Oh my god, be a mural by the end of it.
Yeah,
That's fucking great, dude.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Thank you.
I'm trying to figure out how to. Have I told you the? I don't know if I've told it on here. While I was in treatment,
Okay.
the
Oh God,
the
I'm so excited for this story.
the rooms were like a hybrid of like hotel, office kind of looking. You know how like they'll put a desk and like make it seem like
a
you're in
dorm room
kind of like a dorm room, but merged with a cubicle because there's half walls. And what I would do after my 1 o'clock smoke break was I would go in and take a nap.
Okay.
So I'd go in
So white trash.
to take a nap. So there's 3 people per room, and I go in and there's nobody in there. So I'm like, dope. Lay down, and I hear my roommate come in, and he's like super cheery, and I can hear him kind of humming to himself. I hear him like unfold a piece of paper. And then I hear him start to put hair gel in. I'm thinking like, man, I didn't know that you could have hair gel. And then he's like still putting in hair gel. And I'm like, God, that's a lot of hair gel. And then he lays down and he's still putting in hair gel. And I'm like, oh no, he's not putting in hair gel. And I'm like, maybe he has bursitis and he just has to. No, I'm trying to think of that. What's that? That skin condition?
I see. Oh,
Eczema?
Eczema.
Eczema or psoriasis.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe he has eczema, and he's just putting the hair gel on his eczema. It gets quiet, and then I hear, "Oh yeah."
Oh no.
And I'm like, "Oh my god." And so now I'm like mortified because this dude had the balls to masturbate out in the open, basically.
Yeah.
He's just a half wall, not a full wall.
Yeah. No, he could have sat up and given you a little side eye while he was working his.
Yeah, and he knew I was in there because when you walk in,
that's tough.
When you walk in, my little door open way, you can see right in.
You know, that's hard.
And
to
then
hear.
he got up, left, didn't wash his hands, and just vacated the premises. But I felt like I'm behind enemy lines, and if I make myself known, things are going to be a lot worse. So I need to just ride it out. And then part of me was like, oh, I don't want him to feel bad, because how awkward for him if I get up and I'm like, hey, man.
You also,
or even if I just walked out.
That's a boner killer for sure.
Yeah.
He's blue balling himself at that point. You also don't want to give him affirmation that like what he's doing is okay, because like technically it's not okay that he did that, but also like you don't want to boner kill him that way either. Like when he's done, he says like, oh yeah, you don't want to like walk over there and be like, hey man, I'm glad you feel comfortable enough to do that. And he's like, yeah, whoa. Well, because like what if he didn't know you were there?
The other weird thing. So violent.
Short circuited.
The other weird thing was there's a bathroom and a shower.
In
Two
there?
separate things that he could have used,
dude.
instead of doing that.
And why the hair gel? Get in the shower. Use the shampoo.
What are we doing? But I also
shampoo don't dry out like hair gel does.
The funny thing was, so that was actually a very short stint. So that was maybe 2 minutes. Right?
Recircumcised himself with the hair gel.
The other part of me was like, I've tried to jerk off while here.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. And I just gave up because it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
He was able to get it done in 2 minutes.
Some people are just super horny. Maybe that was his first time trying and he hadn't until then. So he was just practically busting at the seams. If you
Ooh, busting at the seams.
Slip.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of like, it's a funny story.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
the other people that were staying on that like wing, there's this one dude that was like super hood, and He was like, oh, he was getting that money.
That's
And so people kept making references like that. Yo, Alex, you getting that money?
you getting that cake up?
And he was like, you know me, man. Because he used to deal too.
Oh.
So he thought they were like,
You're
being like-
slanging O's right now? Are you pushing weight, my friend?
but yeah, I'm trying to think of like how to make it. I struggle with funny stories turning them into jokes.
Well, that's part of making a story funny is finding ways to manipulate the emphasis you have on the parts of the story that are inherently and inarguably funny. And then you don't have to write jokes into them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the first joke I ever told was about the bowling alley where my buddy got, like, hammered at the bowling alley. But we were all underage, so we didn't want to, like, you know. And he, like, literally, like, brought the ball back.
You got to stop yawning.
I can't help it. Dude. I'm
Shitting
sorry.
your pants and yawning.
I know. So he, like, brought the ball back to bowl, and he was so drunk he, like, forgot to let go of the ball. And it just, like, took him out in the lane, and, like, literally everything on his person was in the lane. Like, his glasses, like, fell off. One of his shoes fell off. It was like a yard sale. It was insane.
Oh, that's a good line.
Right. So, like, that part of the story is funny. Just like you add tags inside the already funny part of the story. Like, you would put emphasis on that if you told me just off air.
Yeah,
or
it's true.
whatever, right? So, like, those parts are where you add your tags and your punchlines. You don't have to change anything about the story. You don't have to punch up the story. Like, the story itself, the meat of the story is never going to change.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's the condiments and the fixins that make it a bit or
Gotcha.
worthy of being a bit. Like, that story is plenty good enough to do on stage. You just got to find out how exactly you want to position each funny part
Yeah.
in the chronology of the story on stage. The timeline is
Yes.
a better word than chronology, you fucking pretentious prat. You prat.
If people want to submit these brought to you bys, where should they do it?
Dude absolutely podcast at gmail.com or to our Facebook page, Dude Absolutely Podcast on Facebook. Check us out on Facebook. Throw us a like if you would.
This episode of Dude Absolutely can be found on our Facebook page, as well as the Duck Duck Grey Duke Podcast Network on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Podbean.
You know, there may be a time in the near future where we have a Patreon that you guys can check out. Additionally, I think we're going to try to talk about maybe doing a live show sometime. That would be very fun. There's a lot of stuff in the hopper, but we're not going to pull the trigger on any of this shit unless people start actually telling us they want us to do it, because not only does this stuff take time, it also costs money. So it's like double money because time is also money. And Chris has a family and 2 other podcasts and a job and
a bunch
goals
of money.
and okay.
More money
And
than
I have,
So
you know,
much
a
more money.
wedding I'm planning and a fiance and so much Pokemon to play. And you guys, trying to catch them all. And if I can't. So anyway, all I'm saying is, you know, get involved. Like, if you're listening and you're not commenting and sharing whatever, I get it. I'm the same guy on social media. But shoot us a message.
A,
you know,
a like.
Yeah.
That shows something.
Yeah, shoot us a message. Doesn't have to be public. Send us an email. That's not public, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't want to shout out, we don't need to shout you out. If you don't want to stir the pot with these 2 reckless hellraisers,
And if you want another comic to be on the show, tweet them.
we might make, you know what I think we should also make is maybe a Snapchat. I think that might be kind of fun.
Beth Stelling just messaged me.
What just
I said, "Oh crap, are you booked this weekend?" And she said, "What day you thinking?"
Going to my grandparents on Saturday.
So
Out in
Saturday?
Wilmer.
So
You can try to figure out Sunday.
trying to figure out Sunday.
Beth Stelling, comics in disguise.
She's so fucking talented.
She is. She's a fantastic comedian.
And what a trooper. She's booking all of these podcast spots herself.
She seems like an extremely kind human being.
Yes.
Like the kind of person that you would want to give you advice because you know that it's coming from the heart, not to get you to stop talking to them.
Wow, yeah.
Which is why I always took to like David Harris, Shelley Paul. Like I could
Shout out to Shelley Paul. What a
absolute angel.
Yes.
Love her to death. Like all the advice that she gave me when I was like getting started hosting and everything, just like she wrote me like it's like a multiple page like here's exactly how you host.
Yeah.
I was like, you did not need to do that. You could have been like, do your best, and that would have been,
Yeah.
Just
while I'm at it, who's been unbelievably supportive is fucking Mike Brody.
yeah, man,
That guy is so goddamn nice.
really nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't know him super well. I've talked to him a few times, but he's a kind soul.
Yes.
And I mean his oh shit, what's it called? His special on
Dry Bar
on
comedy.
Dry Bar. Yeah, no, I'm the name of the special though, so that people can look it up.
Fuck.
It's
Something with his dog.
Well, it's something butterfly. I thought.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Is the whole special not on?
It's probably on Dry Bar, the website,
Oh.
and you gotta, might
Just
be one
type
of
in
those-
Mike Brody and he'll show up. He's got millions of views on a lot of videos.
Yeah, so good. And then he's got his album on Spotify also is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got good shit out there, man.
If we didn't mention you, it's because you're not good enough. So just do
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah, comics comics who definitely want to get airtime for free on Dude Absolutely. God, this is a career maker and a career breaker. You know what I mean?
is.
You don't get mentioned, you don't make the top.
Yeah.
You get mentioned?
We don't get lambasted by a redneck radio station for no reason.
No, that's true. This space right here, this arena that we've created, might as well be called the Kennedy Space Center, because everything that's here takes off like a rocket ship.
Oh my God! That was so good.
I can't believe I did that.
That was great.
Thanks, dude.
So fucking inspired. I almost said expired.
There is a Chris-shaped hole in the wall right now. Wow.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All right.
Do all the things. Share all the things. Makes a
Yeah.
big difference.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I completely forgot. Mar, did you say you had a
Yeah.
premise
Did
this
you have a
week?
prem?
I don't know if it's a premise. It might just be like a Wheel of Fortune puzzle before and after, because that's kind of how my brain works.
Okay.
So I feel like I should set it up before I unleash that part.
This is a safe space. You
Yeah.
set it up and do it however you feel
So I'm
comfortable.
not a comedian.
You're
You guys-
wearing a beautiful summer dress.
No, literally no need to worry about how we'll receive something.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to set the stage here. It's 1996, ESPN X Games.
Okay.
So you kind
I'm
of squint
there.
your eyes.
I'm there.
You're not sure if you're looking at athletes or mobile piles of laundry.
Okay.
And you see one of these skaters. This is the street course, and they just kind of saunter up to one of the rails, like very nonchalant and slow, and they kind of side eye it, and they just kind of cross their arms and they look away, and they'll unleash just a sigh, a deep sigh, and then they just skate off. And that's the new sport is passive aggressive inline skating. And then the judges
so
don't
good.
they don't give you your score immediately. They send it to you in the mail anonymously.
That's really good. That's really good. They don't send it to you in the mail. They whisper it to the people who have to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't have no idea who gave you what score.
Right.
at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny as hell. Well done. Passive aggressive inline.
Dude. And the mobile piles of laundry.
That's a great line.
Did you see? Like, have you seen old rollerblading?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Oh man, the Janko jeans. And,
Yeah, Janko jeans, huge cargo pockets on those fuckers.
And the street skating course back then was so huge. Like, they were already not getting speed.
Right. Yeah.
And they had all this drag from their clothes.
Right. And they're wearing those, like they have their, well, this is probably pre-Volcom, right? Maybe?
No, it would have been Volcom. Yeah.
Okay, so they have their Volcom t-shirt, but this is like before the neon pinks and blues were like hip and cool. So this would be like when Volcom just was like brown, like a dirty,
Yeah.
way too baggy brown Volcom shirt with the white Volcom stone on it. And then like underneath they had like a tan undershirt with their khakis and then they're like Osiris shoes.
Dude, there were a bunch of rollerbladers who got into wearing, for some reason, tight shirts and baggy pants, which is my
It's so
least
backwards.
favorite phase. I fucking hated it so
Yeah,
much.
dude, that sounds horrible.
There was because like when
Do you
I
wear fucking puka shells at all?
Shaw did.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I did wear puka shells.
Yeah, you
I had
did.
a Rastafarian beanie.
Oh, no.
I did it.
That's hard to hear.
Yeah.
I think less of you, but don't worry about it. Hey, excellent prem.
Thank you.
Yeah, claps. Well done.
Passive aggressive inline. God
That's super
damn
funny.
it, that's funny.
All right. Same time next week?
Dude, absolutely. Dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, absolutely.